Oh, I did it last sprint. No, I'm not doing it.
I'm choosing. So otherwise, I feel that yeah, it's quite domestic in advance, how can I plan ahead for what? So whatever, they finish, I want to finish faster, my counselor, whatever, we probably all have the same. Yeah, definitely. She's like, well, if you want to finish, you just wait for the future. Basically. Yeah. So when I first had email, I didn't read it. I was like, okay, there's not a point. This is one of my friends. Right. And then I found out from someone else, like, okay, I really didn't know what I wanted. Exactly. Like, what I think Joe was so big into the seminar course, you can drive. Like, even if you don't have to go to the site, you still have to write about it, you still have to do all that. You can just see what this talks about it. I did my first course. Yeah, that's Sunday, 31st. Oh, my God. I was busy, I should have watched the 40-minute video. Oh, no. No comment. What's your name?
Mandy.
And then, yeah, Miriam. Yeah. Yeah. We're yeah. She's sorry. So when I go to the next song, oh my God, she didn't do it. I didn't do it. I really hope, I don't think, I didn't, I mean, I thought back about it. Why don't they do that? If they wanted to be fully or walk. Not really. She's not very hours. You should know her. I do, but I didn't expect my kids one day. Yeah. We got some violence out there. Yeah. You know, I'm still employed. I'm still young. But then there's tomorrow. After the first 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah. Here's like hello. Hi. Yeah, like all our advisors are like 10, 13. I don't think so. It's not the kind of thing that. No. Block 3. Well, how are you going? I read some semester, I had a passion, I was right for them. I read for the freshman class. Yes, yes.
That's cool. Okay, so how was your summer with you? Yeah, I know you have.
Oh, it's nice. Yeah.
Right. Exciting news to think about. Somebody having a baby. Somebody got a new boyfriend or something. Somebody getting married.
Oh, yeah, good one.
Those are all of them. Yeah. Somebody traveled. Had a lot of fun. You did?
Yeah,
Where did you
I
go?
did route.
What is that?
You go through, like a highway, I guess, and it takes you through all of like the west coast, and you can start in Chicago, and then around the.
What happens on the road?
Yeah, but it was so fun, I saw.
So many places and having.
Exactly. How much restaurants, oh, babies, and.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, everywhere.
Oh, that's so
I feel like.
And some of those places, of course, for the first time, and I've never been there.
Most of them are.
That's the first time when you come to something. How many nights?
This one.
This one's driving 4 times.
Yeah, I mean, my boyfriend does a little bit because, okay, so my boyfriend drives for me. So he drives, he's not gonna take. So,
Is that overtime?
no, he's the fast food guy. He does
Oh, I see. Okay.
he does all over the country. But, his family came from Romania and they spent like their whole week. His brother promised him that he wouldn't have to drive anything. They go everywhere. So, we do travel a lot.
Yeah, but you spend a whole day somewhere?
Yeah, we spend like
at
3 days
least a-
here. Yeah. People in a big van or what?
Big van.
We were in the most private apartments to a car. And then we stopped because we were traveling with a small child. So we can't really be sleeping in the car. So every night we stopped. Sometimes like in the Vegas, we were there for 3 days.
Oh,
So we
okay.
were there for 2 days.
So no wonder it took 2.5.
Right.
And did you have something? Man,
Yeah.
you have a hand up.
Well, I
Can I
don't.
share something?
No, I don't.
Didn't go anywhere?
I was mainly working at the daycare on campus.
Okay. Was it exciting?
Last week was cleanup week for the daycare.
Okay. Huh? Let's hear some other story. That's no class, we don't have anything to do.
Yay.
Anybody else have something to share?
Dr. Mushin, most of our friends here have like several classes.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you're doing the 3 Dr. House class?
No, oh, I don't know if anyone knows. Maldonado.
What is that? 365, okay.
355.
What about
340. This month.
Oh,
Yes, I mean, and then
okay.
Friday, yeah.
So you're doing the 327A.
Yeah.
I'm going, that's exciting. First time in the school, right? For some of you.
One class, yeah. We just have one class.
You have been played?
Yes.
You haven't done?
No.
Alright. But I show my job. Or not? Right, so what exciting news?
So March was my oldest son. He just graduated high school. Went off on his second half of National Guard.
Mm.
So he did a work program, right? He did summer in Louisiana. He went to Georgia and months and then after he graduated high school, he went back to the program. And I'll go and look at it. On Tuesday.
Wow.
And then he'll come back for one.
So that's the high school program prepared to go to
To the army? No,
Yeah.
no, I mean, this is something that he's out himself.
the already wanted.
No. So it's like, you have to, mostly, you have to reach out to the
Oh,
FBI and
whoa.
what is that?
Sounds like my niece, family, CIA, FBI, everything.
It's hard. He applied for like, what is that? No, like an internship for like, FBI, like,
Wow.
Yeah.
You really want to work.
Yeah.
You do what you want.
Yeah, he didn't get in, you know, there's a lot more smart people than me. He doesn't have to do this well.
Wow. Are you serious? You say he's your youngest? Your oldest?
He's my oldest, and then I have like, he is, pretty soon.
Yes. But still, parents love it when their children, I remember my children graduated, I was happier than they were. Yeah, so it was like I'm graduating over and over and over. Okay, have you had a chance to look around what's on our website? This part? Have you met them? Oh my goodness. Of all the things you like the days we don't come to school today. I'm such a little brain factor, that's not. Oh, having travel. Okay, what else? Somebody's saying let something else. No, that's good too. You know what? Those are not days for not doing school. They're days for doing school at home. So it says to the driving, so this is what.
I saw we have to do personal philosophy.
What's the deal with this?
No, but with you, yeah.
Yeah, but personal philosophy of what? Because there's a personal philosophy for everything. This one is good.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, if you want that by Friday. No.
That's tomorrow. Okay. Since we know everybody, let's get right into. So I'm not going to talk about the syllabus now, but let's do something else. One, two. Go to other one. Good. And then what is assessment? Download it. And then oh. Download it and then I'm going to request a volunteer. Download it. You can call it any. Anybody ready? Volunteer? One volunteer.
So, stating my personal philosophy, we have some questions. What? How
girls to pick up. No, that's it. Welcome to you. I usually play. That's when, why? What is the purpose of the fight? What is it? Why? So when I pick up this is.
Are there meetings of assessment that you usually agree with? What are they? Are there other meetings of assessment that you find it difficult to agree with? What are they? Why do you or don't you agree with some of the meetings of assessment? How would you sum up the meaning of assessment and how would you choose? As you answer these questions from your own perspective and experience, you will begin to feel ready to start writing your personal philosophy of assessing young children. Start writing tonight in class and continue to develop your philosophy in a coherent statement. 3 or 4 pages observing the scoring will be posted before your personal philosophy. On September 5th, using the appropriate program as well.
Okay. So we're going to start where you are before we start anything. So this is what we bring to the course. This is the understanding that is the background to learning, the studying from my work before we start. So we're going to give you 10 minutes or so to jot down what and those questions are meant to just type so that you can have it. So, what did you think? There's no right or wrong. I'm not asking you to compare your understanding. Because what you think. If you address most of those questions or even all of them, you should have a good beginning round. For a minute and a half or so, you will stop doing this and you will think if you have it. So, again, what we learn is how to do something hanging so that when you come back, that you know how to start thinking about it. You have your study. Some cannot unfinished sometimes. Whatever it is that will remind you exactly what the process was, so that you can see when the next thing is an assessment history. And students everything went to the festival, you download it, call it something that will remind you what it is. Let us all volunteers to do.
There's some questions. How the student are recalling this assessment experience. The following questions will help you as remember the ones that you want to.
We have been subject of assessment from the assessing point of view, from the being assessed point of view, from watching someone doing an assessment, from hearing stories about assessment. So there has to be one that stays, and there's a reason why that one. That's the one I want you to kind of reach and recall that. The one experience. Maybe you are being assessed. Maybe you are assessing someone. You are assisting someone as a child. Or maybe you are watching as a child. Any experience that you've had with assessment that stayed with you and bring that to the current memory. Can you have another volunteer?
When did the assessment take place? Who did the assessment? Who was being assessed and in what context? What caught your attention about the assessment? Did you like it? Dislike it? Why? What were the consequences of the assessment? What decisions were to be made and by whom? How long ago did this happen? Why do you remember this assessment experience? How does this assessment experience impact and assessment?
Thanks so much. Okay, so go ahead and address that. Write down that. This will help bring up a lot of things that relate to system. And remembering those questions will help you remember some of the things that maybe that you're doing and completing right here, you're not having. That's really cool. Sorry, very 40 minutes. In about a minute, and then the next thing I'm going to do is, I want you to think, not necessarily based on what you wrote, but we're going to spend experience. I want you to give 3 adjectives. You know what adjectives are? Right. How are they different from nouns? Adjectives. Adjectives are words that like use 3 different words, not sentences, words. So write them down. What you think that will kind of explain the way you say. 3 separate words, not like 3 a phrase with 3 words. No, totally different words. 3 of them. And together they kind of sum up what you think, what you think what you think about you. It's about you and how you are taking in assessment. So what are the few words that can describe us? For example, if you say, it is tall, it is hot, it is quick. Okay, so tall, hot, and quick. They have to be answered. Okay. It is your, yeah. Oh yeah, that put that aside. I'm sorry, moving to now. So take time, think about those, and write them down. When you have those 3 adjectives, so when you do, then I know. I don't know. That's right there. Genuinely fruitful. You say, boy, don't worry, it's more bad adjective, whatever I think it is. Don't say this stupid, because it is not. Did anybody think about that? As they experience all right. So the next thing I'm going to do is work with 2 other people, and you're going to compare. First thing I want to know, anybody else in that group of 3 have the same adjective one? And then say something. After that, we share our experience. But not before we compare. So instead of 7 people, one group will have 4. Instead of us, so one will have, yeah, one will have 4. One group will have 4 people. Mind you wanna join them? All right, start sharing your adjectives. Did you hit one? At least one. You have 9 of them among the 3 of you. And if something has any sense, if something has any truth to it, multiple positives about it. There you are. Okay, compare your adjectives. Compare your adjectives first. Are they adjectives? We have to have adjectives. They have to be adjectives. Words that describe. Oh my God. For one person. Anyway, keep talking.
I've never been like I always get nervous. I always feel like I'm gonna worry. Learning, I did customers. And the one that I kept I remember we sat in the hallway that's Mark.
Give it another 2 minutes to share those experiences and then I will be back with you.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
All right, give it another 30 seconds and we can start talking. During more time. I hate to cut you off, but the next thing I want to know is whether you had any matching adjectives among the 12 that were happening, or the 9 that. Not at all? You did? Ooh, what was it? Objective? Oh, I like that. So who had objective? Wow. Oh, nice. That brings it closer to reality. Two brains saying the same thing, that is kind of conflict. That's good. What about you guys? Do you have any? Okay, what was the adjective?
I said comprehensive, reflective, and stressful.
Okay. Oh, they do. And you say? Sorry? Fast time. Okay, wow, okay, different experience. What about the 12 that we had? Okay. Okay, like what? I just okay, yeah, you're interested, help with the what? Okay, help and purpose. Cool. You had stress, stressful? Okay. Anything else that's cool? Not necessarily, any. Yeah. Absolutely. Paper, children and paper, they don't even come close. Why do you give them paper?
Well, you know, like you sit there and you have.
I know, for the older ones maybe, but. Okay, let's talk about the extreme one. What extreme adjectives do you think we have in this case? Like traumatizing, is that the extreme one? Traumatizing is extreme, right? Let's talk about that. Anybody, not just, I'm not picking on you. So what is traumatizing about it? Let's be honest. From experience, yeah. Okay. The trauma, you remember the trauma of being a child? Or was it this stuff?
It's just like how you felt, or I'm talking myself.
Yeah.
How I felt when writing that.
Right.
Or like even other tasks.
Right. Okay. What makes a situation traumatizing? This is very important because it really guides what you even open your mind, because this causes a lot of new concepts that you're going to absorb and process, and how you receive them matters. If you have something, oh my God, okay, stop. You're going to try to excuse those on the spot. So let's talk about that. Let's check it out and see what it means. Traumatizing is something that really scares you into it. You never want to go through that experience again. good. And students running is good. All kinds of things that you want to know. What is or what can be traumatizing work? Yes, no, as a child, yeah. From the point of view of the child. That was your point of view, right? Yeah.
Environment.
Okay, what about environment?
Environment. Like I was also going for it. They're not comfortable
Yeah,
with the colors.
okay. So the environment can be traumatizing or intimidating or traumatizing. Okay, talking about that, what about the function area? What did you want to say about it?
It was conflict, well, I don't think it really applies to the small children, but like, as you get into higher.
Yeah, you're a student, we're talking about student perspective from whatever level.
Yeah.
You are a student in this case, but you're going to be administered one to younger. So go ahead.
So sometimes I think even the question is, usually insightful, and you need to, maybe explain the situation. That maybe doesn't make you comfortable, or because like, presenting to art. And these are really deep topics or something, and you really just want to talk about that.
Okay, so it can evolve something once that. Okay, so that has to do with the topic. But if you're required,
Yeah, like
not if you volunteer.
right, like, for example, I had a meditation class,
Yeah.
and I actually dropped that class because I felt like instead, I decided to do yoga instead because I did not like how much, like, if I was actually going to get something academically out of the class and take it seriously, then it would require a certain level of transparency and self-reflection that I wasn't really.
Okay, okay, I get it. All right, anybody else? Sorry,
I feel like just a word itself.
assessment?
Yeah.
Assessment. What can we call it? I didn't say evaluation, they're on the same. Go ahead.
I'm gonna do my best to know if we can assignment. So when I got to really know that that's a challenge, and it's like civil, you know, that they tell us, and I remember to say, times ask challenge, and I answer you. And I really was so special, like, you're telling them, like, really related to mine.
What is the time frame?
Well, with that, parents, I was just telling the things. So like, even then, it's like, you're telling them, oh, they're not even related to you, and I'm having.
Yeah, okay. That is called child assessment. So that is parental consent, like the consent contract is signed, but child assessment for the children who are a little older, who can say yes or no. It's nice, but I'm not saying is that okay. So that was good. But how did the child feel? How did you think?
And we'll just have a little chat, we'll like have your family, and
So it was okay with it.
yeah, so it was just, you know, really, you know, I think that was just very
Yeah. And at this age, it doesn't have to be academically related, it could be just milestone, developmental milestone. For children who are debating some way, oh, that is so important. That gives the opportunity to see the opportunity. It's fun for them. Otherwise, you don't know how to. So what is it?
I know, I just wanted to, you guys. And, I just wanted to. How, how positive we are about. It, right? Like, because if they that makes sense, then they're good, but if they are positive, you know, nurturing, then
Right. That points to the notion of how you, the teacher, are a humongous figure in the classroom, and the child always wants to be the right thing that you approve. You can never forget that. You can never forget that you are this big person, the child that small, you are an authority figure. What you say is supposed to be the right thing, and the child kind of weighing their place to my. You also thought the teacher was going to be a nice father, am I as good as I think I am? I think I'm good. You must never forget that. And assessment is very friendly in making that happen. So the scary part, I get it, because of the person being upset, wondering whether they're going to measure up. And for older children, that's a big deal. But for the infants, good luck. Infants don't care. That's just whatever you want. As they breastfeed on their mother's breast, okay. Do they cry when they need a diaper change, or do they wiggle when someone? They don't care about that. But for the ones who can tell that you feel good about them, or you look down upon them, or you think they're not as good, that is very, very sensitive. Now, anybody else wants to say something about the scare part? This is the most important part. Because if you are assessing a child who is scared, already you are destroying the validity. Because you're supposed to assess the child the way the child is normally. Not when you scare them. You cannot scare them and then assess them. I'm scared. So that's what I'm going to show you. I'm scared. So this is very important to think about. Does anybody want to add anything else about being scared about assessment? When you have that in place, every student yourself, then you know what students about what when they're in the assessment. Especially the children who have a sense of what is this assessment going to show about? Anybody else? Okay. So now the next question. How do you get rid of that fear? Because if you assess someone who is not their real self, just don't do it. It's useless. Yes, it is useless. It's like scaring someone and then asking them something. They just think at the back of their mind there's something more important going on. What do you think about? What do you think about? What is this going to talk about? What is this forward? If they're scared, forget it. Wait until another time when they're real themselves. What are the challenges? Well, that's one good example. Yeah, like the ones you do, and of course, you plan many, many assessments, but you still get failed. Has anybody tried it out? The standardized tests that you have to pass. No.
Because
That's
they're
really
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't have to, it doesn't hold you back, but getting it out of the way is a great thing. Okay, so we have a challenge here. How do you remove that fear in the person you're about to? You know why? Because you want assessment data that are telling you something. You don't want assessment data that are going to tell you this child is scared. That's useless. You scared the child. Remove that. And then assess that. What are the creative ways of doing it? I came out laughing. Don't sneak out on them. Okay, that's right.
Make it a game?
Yeah, that's a good thing. Make it something they enjoy. Okay, and in the process, watch how they do with others. For example, I'm looking around the hall. Don't have the child sit there and stand there and tell you, pronounce these words or say this sentence or read. No. Put them in a conversation mode. Have them do something together. Let them plan a recipe or plan a recipe and interact with them as you're making that birthday cake for them. Then you see the love of coming out. And this is automatic, real, natural, and that's what you know. So make it a game, someone else will come. Yeah, make it play, yeah. Yes, it has to be authentic. It has to be. Authentic means the real person, not the scared person. The scared person is very different from the real person. So you really don't want that to get that. So wait until they get back. So there's no more way. Give them something enjoyable to do, and when they're really, really involved and just thought about what's happening, that's when we have to do it. But there are times when they have to sit down and really stop or when to trick them with that. How do you do that? No, it's right. You tell them the consequences don't matter. Well, some standardized tests for your children, some of the common form, the consequences are not on the children, it's on the school. They can lose that. But the children are fine. So it's okay to tell them, oh, this doesn't have, they don't even know your name. Oh, okay, that's good. But then comes the scribble up. So find a way to get the real person and not the scared person. How you do it? Well, there are different ways for the young ones. Play, pick up on them, help them do something enjoyable, plan an activity that you with them, interact with them. For the older ones, well, you can have a conversation. If it is not something that they have to write on. You have to get out on paper, find ways of using them, enjoy those. Next thing, for 3 words. Please write down teaching. Write it down, teaching. Just teaching, yeah. And stay in that same way. Teaching. The other word is assessment. And the other one is planning. Planning. So you have teaching, you have assessment, you have planning. My question to you is, are these terms related? And the quick answer will give you is yes. Understand that. Now the task is a group. You're going to find one page from someone's notebook, sorry, I don't have anything. And draw the relationship of those two concepts. Teaching, assessment, and planning. You're going to make it, yeah, one page is good enough. Just find a pictorial representation. It's a pictorial representation. How would you show the relationship in a picture? You're going to hold it up and then show the class what's in that. So use a thick pen to show that relationship. I'm going to give you like 5 minutes to think about it and be ready to start. Turn around and work with your body. Teaching, assessment, and planning. Are they related? How? You're going to draw that relationship. Draw it. Draw it. Draw the relationship. Make it, you can draft it with a pencil and then make it stiff enough to mix in when you fold it out.
You want to go?
Teaching, assessment, and planning. How are those related? I'm not asking you to Google it, I'm asking you to get it from your head. Are they related? Are you going to draw on your iPad? What about it? As long as you can hold it up for the phone. We're not done yet. Keep drafting it and then once you agree, it's not your own opinion, Abigail. It has to be your work. Well, we're just beginning to talk about it. And then I trace it with a quick pencil to be seen from a distance. Find someone. You guys don't have pencils? Yes, they are related. The question is how. They are related. The question is how. So that's showing how they are related. Right? Dress up? You call it dress up? Oh, thank you. Well, we're almost getting to the home. Yeah. So Some of these masters. Gonna try this. All right, as long as it's in this information. You didn't know time? You're not. Finish up. Finish up. Let me know when you're ready to share. So, you're bringing up the brain. This one. You're putting your brain on paper, then showing. Actually, so that's 9 rounds of brain. 3 beers. Remember that the brains are about 3 pounds, that's 9 pounds. They have 12 pounds. 12 pounds of brain, better do a good job. All right. When you show your drawing, defend it. So that it is the best one. Huh? Let me know when you're ready. Ready to share? That's what we're going to drawing. Ready to share? All right, we're going to start with you guys. I'm sure your tutorial and presentation. Hold it out. Oh, no. No, that's good enough to start it. Can you tell us what it looks like? What is that look like? Is it circle? Is it that's a circle? Huh? Can you see the diagram? Can I move closer? Good to see. Yeah. Can you see it?
We're still trying to figure out where it's. You're right, those two thoughts.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good enough. That's starting point. Because you're going to work on that for another 5 minutes. Okay, you're next. Hold up. Hold up, everybody. Okay. Okay. And then you go. Look again.
Yeah, so we, so,
Okay. Okay. Good thing. The good thing is that I did not see anything linear. I didn't see a line. We start here with assessment or with planning or with teaching, and we end here, and that's the end of it. I didn't see that, so we're good. We're thinking beyond the limit. Now, add one more thing in that. Find a way to. I'm gonna go to the personal philosophy of assessing young children. Add it. Personal philosophy of assessing young children. Where does it go? In that diagram, your personal philosophy. Where does it go? Where does your personal philosophy go? Put it in the diagram and then you're going to hold it up. Treatment for technique. You guys may have to use a piece of paper so that you put it. Or make your diagram larger or add personal philosophy and show how it relates to the other. Yeah, put it somewhere and have a good reason for it. Personal philosophy of attention. That's what you're adding. You're adding into teaching, to assessment, and to planning. So where does it go? It's something and something, in, and where does it go? Let me know when you're ready. Personal philosophy of assessment. The one that you're going to write and submit. Where does it come in the whole spectrum of planning, assessment? That's like real something. And you're something.
it's just that everything we say is right.
In addition to the that is wrong, it's your position at the beginning of class. How wrong is that? Just make it clear, big enough, big enough. What about that? I think we're ready to share, right? Who are ready to get started? Start. Who's getting up started? What's the? Which one? Wanna start? Oh, right.
Alright, we put it in the middle. Basically because we didn't all agree. We,
Hold it up.
yeah, I'm sorry, we agreed that each one of them, philosophy, you know, it goes in all of them. Some of us thought maybe more than others, right? You know, find more, that's one. But
Sounds good. Start. Who are next? You guys go?
Same thing.
Yeah. Oh, you're putting the, what are the relationships though? Oh, it's in the middle means to go to each and everyone.
Yeah, I guess we assumed that was.
Okay. In the middle, what about you? Yeah, okay, point to all three.
Yeah.
Okay, why? Seems to be an agreement that personal philosophy is why?
Because I find it, right?
Okay, think about planning. When you're planning activities for your children, or a theme, or a curriculum activity, does that depend on what you think? Assessment in, and when you are teaching, does that depend on what you think assessment is? What about when you're assessing? Does that depend on what you think assessment? What is the answer to those three? What are the answers to those three? It's yes and yes and yes. Why? Because the way you plan, you're planning to teach. Are you going to want feedback on your teaching? Absolutely. How would you teach the next class if you didn't know how the previous class? So you're planning knowing, I'm planning to teach this part. I'm going to find out how this learning goes before I teach the next part. Before I connect this part of curriculum to the next part of it. So I'm going to need feedback. And how do you do that? Okay. So as you plan, you're using your personal philosophy. As you teach, want feedback. Some of the feedback is instant. Some of them, by just looking at the faces of the children, you know that this person has a question, that person is family, that person is this, that person is not this. The quick feedback to the teacher is invaluable. You have to learn feedback. So you're getting instant feedback. And also at the end of the lesson, remember the lesson plan? At the end, you're going to assess how did the lesson go? Where did it go? And also at the end of the week, how did this part of the theme go? So I'm going to repeat it something and plan for next time to highlight some concepts. So personal philosophy goes into everything we do and we teach as well. So that's correct. Okay, the last thing before we break for 10 minutes, I want you to search Padlet. 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 Do you use it? Have you used it before? Yes. Okay, good. So you know what it is. Padlet. Oh. Or Softlet. These are one of those. Or any other that works like this. What do you do with Padlet? What do you do with it? Okay. Did we do that last class? No. All right. Do you know how to use it? Anybody who is here for the first time? No. Oh, good. All right, so that should be possible. That should be something that works really, really well.
Well, I don't know how, thank you.
It's similar, only, it's accommodates videos much better. Can you Google it and see if it comes up? I know, the main thing really makes me happy. Let me know what you think about Paul. You have to sign up for it? Yeah. You have to collect all the data and give them all the AI. Okay. Then don't worry about that. We'll just use that. So if you know how to find it, that pushes that again. So let's take a quick break, 10 minutes, and then we'll come back to our other time. 10 minutes. Come back to our Okay. Okay. Everybody back? Okay, let's talk about this quickly and then we'll discuss this time. Do you have another question? No, right?
Well, if we said, yeah, if we said.
Oh, you want to lie?
No, no. I'm just kidding, you went a little funny.
Okay, let's talk about this. Okay, we have discussed quite a bit about assessment. Your brains are now warm with assessment. So the right time now to talk a little bit more about it. These are some of the introductory questions you might want to think about as you get into an assessment course. Assessment, teaching, planning, and related with that. How has assessment evolved over the early, over the period from early 19th? Okay, why was that involvement necessary? Because in the past, assessment was seen as a way to make people were valued for what they were thought to be able to do or understand. And the context did not matter, the cultural difference did not matter, the immediate environment did not matter. They had standardized ways of just assessing everybody and measuring everybody against everybody else regardless of anything else. IQ tests were used a lot, standardized testing, just to label people. And once you get that score, it's like, this is too short. Over time, of course, it was realized that, oh, okay, after some, exposure, people test differently, or the context makes a difference. So people began to learn about assessment more realistically and not as a measure of people, whether they can or they cannot learn or something. Have you heard the phrase that makes me laugh sometimes? All children can learn. What did you think? Have you heard that? All children can learn. Of course they can learn. Who said some cannot? But that's the evolution. Over a long period of time, measurement was just assessing everybody against the very same thing and labeling them. Why do we assess young children? I'm going to look at that. What is developmental assessment? That has to do with their development. Systematic way children grow cognitively, emotionally, physically, the things they can do with their body parts, the thinking, the reading, the math, it's developmental. But mostly for the young ones, we look at the milestones of as they grow. Assessment of school learning has to do with teaching. You teach them and then you assess them. Oh, is this child teachable? Is this child not teachable? Well, every child can be taught if you do it right, if you do it from the point of view. Always, if you start from the point of view of the child, then you got where they are and you start moving them towards what you think they need to be exposed to. But if you assume something, you assume, oh, every child is at this level, and you start teaching them as if they were truly at that level, you lost them. The point is assessing from where they are. School learning, of course, has to do planning curriculum, teaching, having them interact with materials, making it child-centered. Is that a new concept? You know that, right? Make it as child-centered as possible. That's how you catch their attention and help them. And of course, domains of development. Can you mention them real quick, domains of development? Hello, you did EDFN for 3. Physical domain, yes. Cognitive domain, what else? Social emotional development, and the cognitive domain has another big domain hidden in it. What is that? Language development. Language development is a huge part of the concept. So you must know that. In some people, so my idea. Did you pick? Denise, did you pick?
No, I should have not. I should have.
What do you have to say? Okay, assessment planning
I
and
wish
teaching.
I did.
We wouldn't have been there. No, that was important, so you would have your brain grab that in. Okay, yes, your personal philosophy actually goes right in the middle. This A here, I have no idea what it is, so I cannot even use my cursor. You see that A here close to planning?
Yeah.
I hate it. I'm trying to remove it. No, I couldn't. But disregard it. Imagine that A is not there. Does that make sense? Do you know Venn diagrams?
Yeah.
What do they mean? How? How? Venn diagram. Do you use Venn diagram? To show them, right? Okay. A Venn diagram primarily gives you entities of it. That entity is one, is the teaching. That entity is another one, that is the assessment. That entity is another one, that is the plan. Disregard this, imagine it doesn't exist. Now, do you see that they overlap in this space here? The overlapping is a common area where each one of them, each entity touches another. That's the personal. You cannot do anything outside your personal philosophy as you plan, as you teach, as you assess. It is that personal philosophy, your understanding of what it is to teach, your understanding of what it is to plan, your understanding of what it is to assess. That is going to guide everything you do as you plan, as you teach, as you assess. So the personal philosophy is your roots. Because it's the belief that is affecting everything. So you need it in circles, but it's the same idea. You see how the Venn diagrams overlap? That little place where the three of them meet, that's very important. The core. Right? Okay, so that's my way of looking at it. These are some of the reasons we have for assessing young children. You can add some more. This handout is on D12, so you don't need to copy it. Read them through and see what you can add. To monitor their development, to identify potential problems, identify strengths. Yes, we're not only assessing for problems, we're also trying to see what can they do well and build on that. Prepare them for school learning, absolutely. Are they ready when they get to school? Depending on how they are prepared. At home or in the previous class. To monitor their learning, yes, we need to know all the time, how are they doing before we move on. Otherwise, we'll be teaching over the top of their heads and they won't be catching up on anything. We need to develop appropriate learning materials, like materials that children can play with, that are safe, that are age appropriate, that push their learning towards the relatively well. We want to adapt instruction to the needs of the children. Again, child-centered planning, child-centered teaching, child-centered assessment, child-centered everything. Everything has to be, the child is the center of it all. The child drives the curriculum, not the other way around. The child drives the curriculum. You can plan your curriculum, a perfect one, and impose it on the children. If they're not ready, it's not wrong. It has to start from where. And it depends on how far they are in relation to where you want them to go. You may have to do more groundwork to get them ready. Okay? Or you see how I asked you to do the Padlet and you said you know it, you're ready, so I didn't have to spend too much time on that. What if you said, what is that? I've never heard of that. Then we'll spend time on it. Just make sure that they are ready before we go to the next step. We need to understand them in order to guide their learning. Yes, children need guidance. They're looking up to you. The teachers like a God in the class. Sometimes children believe they are teachers more than their parents. The teacher said so. And they're adamant to their parents. The teacher said it's good. And the parents are not, no, the teacher said it's good. You see, so you really are somebody in children's lives. Unfortunately, You can use that position to ruin the child or to build the child. Which one do you want? Build the child. Okay, you want to make the learning challenging. What happens if the learning is not challenging enough? They get bored, they start throwing things at each other. What happens if the learning is too difficult? They just tune out. Even with adult students, sometimes if I'm teaching something and they're drawing on their paper, they're checking their time, they're looking at their phone, they're okay, this is not what right, just change. Right? The fact of learning. These are some of the historical developments I was talking about. You can read about them as much as you want. There's a lot of information online. With intelligence testing, where they would label that this person as intelligent, this one is not intelligent, based on beaten parts of broken apart knowledge, which is isolated, may not even relate to what they know. So that was really helpful. And then achievement testing, which has learned in school, based on instruction, and usually normative or criterion related. These are two important terms. We'll talk about them later. But in a nutshell, normative means based on norms, based on average, let's say third grade children, average second grade. Those are norms, averages. I don't want to use terms of how you are not exposed to them. Or criterion based. Criterion is whether they get to halfway or not. All of them can get to halfway and pass. But criterion, but norm-related, there's people at the very bottom, people at the very top, and most of the majority. Those are two different ways of looking at performance. We'll get to those. These are some of the historical developments. Screening didn't come around until the 1960s. Can you believe that? Screening did not come around until about 1960s. And this has to do with the Kennedys, I think. They had a child with disability. Children with disabilities used to be hidden in attics. You know those little baby houses on top of the new house? They used to be hid there. They don't go to school, they're not supposed to be seen by other people because they're an embarrassment to the family. But it happened that the Kennedys had a child. What happened? My screen is fine, I can turn that. Yeah, I turned, look, did you turn it off? No, I was not doing anything. It's problem. You can go to the hand up.
Check that.
I know, these are really old.
That's the 90s and 60s.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, cool for it. That was quick. All right. Oh, all right. Right. So it happened that there was a child from an important family who had a disability and there was something had to be done, and then they started thinking. So children could not be brought out, assessed, find out what's wrong with them, how we help them learn at their own pace, maybe use different materials, maybe use different approaches. Otherwise, they would be hidden in the attics and they wouldn't come out. So screening and diagnosis and all that IP stuff didn't come about until the 1960s. Amazing. And in some other countries, it hasn't come, it's not well practiced even today. They just move ahead with this school like that, very sharp. Those are the ones that the ones that are left behind, they ignore it. Large scale testing, of course, could be statewide or nationwide. These are of little use to the student itself because it really doesn't say much about the student. They do see data. We'll talk about it. This is where we are with young children, the very young, infants and toddlers, right? The day-to-day observation is so observation by parents, observation by the student. When the mom gets home, they have to babysitter, they start a nap, eat, that's observation all the time. In the classroom, it's kid watching, your eyes are like that all the time. And there has to be more adults than me. How many students are adults? 10? 10 children for one adult?
Yeah.
Really?
For 5.
No, 10 is too many.
Oh, for
Depends on the age.
toddler 3, right?
I'm talking about infants.
Oh,
three.
three.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. What about toddlers? Can we really have 8 children on your own?
No.
Yeah, in our 2-year-old program, there's 3, there's a teacher and 2 aides.
Okay, so 3 adults.
12 kids, so.
Okay, so that's 4 per adult.
4 per adult.
That's good. That's not too bad. All right, then form observation, this is when you use observation tool. Formal means it's official. You're observing and taking notes. Maybe anecdotal notes. Maybe you're reading something. Maybe you're checking something. Checklist, rating scale. Have you heard of those before? All right. Have you used the checklist? These are some of the things. The quick assessment checklist, rating scale, and you will do that. Anecdotal notes is also. Is anybody seeing this for the first time? There's also running notes, time something, event something. Is anybody seeing any of this for the first time? Raise your hand.
I'm not well versed in it.
Okay. But checklist? You will in this one? You can expert.
Wait, did you put that like formal observations? That's.
Yeah, you use some tool because it is formal because you're going to come up with a set of data to view yourself or to share with someone. Okay, maybe another teacher, maybe parents of the child. Where the day-to-day observation, the kid watching is informal because you are using the feedback instantly. For example, if I'm looking at you and I see you're dozing off, I know you're missing some stuff. I may, do something. Okay, so that you're cheered up, you're awakened. So the kid watching, that's instant feedback. But when you're doing the formal observation, you're compiling data. Assessment has to yield data when it is formal. Well, it is even informal. You yield data that you use yourself, but some of them are official in the sense that you submit to someone else for making this. We'll get to that spectrum. Okay, you get information from parents, that's useful. They give it to give you the context. Child's interaction with other children, you observe that. Direct interaction with the child, maybe one-on-one with the child, or observing the child doing something. Demonstration of the child's work when they are at task, or just looking at their work samples. You get information back. Preparing the environment is really, really necessary. It has to be safe. The materials have to be safe. There has to be adult supervision, especially toddlers. Or they're on their feet, they just discovered something new and nothing else matters. So you guys are going to be chasing after them every time. Your eyes and your feet are working because your feet are working fast. So it's challenging, but interesting. The materials have to be attractive, they have to be colorful, they have to be excited, not whatever materials that activities are challenging, you can tell like working with toddlers, preschoolers, kindergartners, as their age goes up, you find something that you have to them, but also challenge. So the reward system, how do you reward them so they know they did well? Okay. Blowing bubbles for infant work, well, even for preschool can work. Maybe a star on there may work. What else? Not candy. Stickers, yeah. What else? High fives, yeah. Is your brain works too? So you have to find ways of using the skills that they have already learned. They did it right, you rewarded them, now put that skill to work immediately, because if you don't, yeah, if they achieve a new skill, put it to work. Design another activity so they can use that skill. Otherwise, they forget it. I want to start over. No, try looping in and using that skill to build onto something else. Otherwise, you'll be starting over all the time. You don't want that. Okay? And give them opportunities to try new things that they have never done. So it's exciting. Actually, for adults, not just. This is about curriculum-based learning. That's information. No, much. Oh, okay. This is going to get. Does that sound familiar? Oh, yeah. Okay. You look at those links. Some of these will come back to because the assignments are designed that. So I think this is a good start. You may not internalize everything. It's a lot. Just one class. We're not going to do these activities because this is a very important slide. I'm going to leave it there. Okay, so how are we going to achieve what we need to achieve? Wow. And the way I planned it, because I know the course of the semester, what you're supposed to achieve, and I planned it in a way that you can achieve it given the sequence. Next week there is no class, but there's no class meeting. But class time has to be used to achieve what is on the syllabus. Somebody do me a favor and read on the syllabus what is supposed to be achieved by next week. Okay, syllabus page 9. 9.
Read chapter 1, watch videos 1 to 3, complete the work from module 1, see module 2.
Thank you. Now, there's a lot of materials on each well. I cannot walk you through all of them. The worksheets have to be completed at home, always. We don't have time to do worksheets in class. That would be very bad. We don't have time to watch videos together. Those are the kinds of things we can do at home on your own. So I want you to take a few minutes and look at what is in module 1 before we go over their assignment. So go on D12, look at the materials in module 1, because you're going to be you're completing module 1 at home. And I want to hear what questions you may have. We knocked off 1 and 2 already. My screen is not being cooperative. Oh, there you go. Came back. Okay, now we're together again. We did that, right? We did that. We're good. We did that. Now, this is something that you will keep familiarizing with. There's a lot of, oh, by the way, Nancy changed the standard. There are 2025 standards. I didn't know until I was creating this stuff. So if you go on Macy, you're going to learn a lot of new information that is just being added. Also, fact, huge, huge difference. So, okay, the DAP statement is revised. You know what DAP is? Developmentally appropriate practice. Macy has revised that you need to keep that. You don't have to read anything. You have some resources available, but yeah, there's a link.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Can I go back?
no, I went all the way to the bottom.
Oh, I
I have
see.
sources.
Right,
Ah,
so,
right here.
right. So you take your time and familiarize with this very, very useful information, and which will take a lot of fast time to do, right? These are things you can do at home. Some of them just read and understand. Okay. So that's one of them. Let's go to the next one, the position statement. Do I have a position statement here? Yes, could have given you the position. Right. Now, on the syllabus, there's video 1, 2, and 3 for module 1. Is that right? Please go, yeah, they are the same videos, but they maybe not exactly the same. But the questions are different. You work on this worksheet. Pull it up and ask me if you have any questions. This worksheet, download it. Download this worksheet. Am I too fast?
No, sorry.
Let me know if you need me to go back.
I didn't see the video, so. I didn't see it.
Right. It's on the syllabus, yes. So use the videos on the syllabus and this worksheet.
This worksheet.
You're bringing it to class next time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, let's go down, module 1. Oh, the position statement, I was looking for this. Module 1. You need to familiarize yourself with this, and it could have changed. The good thing is it will be available on the NACE website. This is just something you read through. It's very comprehensive, but it gives you a sense of what is expected of you. The most important thing about the commitment is the first one, which says do no harm to children. Because of that authority figure that I talked about, that you are in the classroom, the first and most important thing is do no harm. Because if a child comes to you, they're coming to you to be better. So you cannot afford, you cannot afford to do harm on a child, because that would be going against what you're supposed to do. Most of these is reading and being familiar with them, but the worksheet you do, the videos you watch. Before I go to, this is a very comprehensive one. Maybe I should go to this. The next thing is going to take. Now this one is very important. Can you get here, everybody? You're there? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is loaded. Each one of these links gives you very good information. You know how you're going to develop a checklist? You can get some milestones. You select what milestones you want. Okay. Back. This is a good, very good resource. You click here. Another set of developmental milestones. These are different. Oh, similar. Or different age group.
Yeah.
Okay. We go to the third one, and I want to show you period 2. 3 to 5 years. Yeah. That's fine. You can go to special needs on this. Okay. Still in module 1. Now, what I really, really want you to pay attention to is like this one. Has a lot of unending resources. You can watch all you want. You can never finish. Hopefully it opens.
It's working well.
Thank you. Yes, yeah, it's huge, so probably it's taking a lot of time to. This one is a very useful resource. It has lots and lots of videos. Okay, these are videos. Can you see these 200 already? Now, once you get to this website, bookmark it, keep it. Really, it's going to help you a lot. All these are videos, and the good thing about the videos, they're very, very short. They're very, very short. You can watch one and learn. Each one of them you watch, you learn something. You can see how many there are. So once you get to this link, please bookmark it, make it available to yourself. You will not regret. I'm not gonna wait for them to open. Now that you know the resource is there, let me go back and pull up something probably a little so that I open this. This number is anybody open? The checklist is right here? Or because we are doing it on this. Hang on. Okay, you see this on this side? You choose what you want to look at. Believe me, this is like teach yourself resource. Watch and learn. Please watch and learn. There's tremendous amount of information. As I say, bookmark it, make it your own link, and go back to it as much as you need. So let's go back to module 1 and okay, this is a sample of a checklist. I'm going to say a few words about it. A checklist is a really quick way of getting data. Okay, real quick. Now, what are the characteristics of a checklist? The checklist has only 2 options, yes or no. The child is already there or the child is not yet there. The child can achieve that or the child cannot do that. The child was able to do that or the child was not able to do that. It is binary, only 2 options, binary. There's no in between, it's binary, yes or no. The child can do it or the child cannot do it. The child was able to do it or the child was not able to do it. It is binary. You see it says yes or no. Okay. The child pushes up while lying down, while lying on tummy, pushes up on arms. Either the child can or cannot. So it's either yes or no. So the most important thing about checklist is that there's only 2 options. Yes, no, yeah. And this is very helpful. It's a very helpful place to start because when you add another column, that makes it what? Rating scale. Now it's no longer yes or no. It's maybe never, maybe sometimes, maybe always. Why? Because you're observing long. Okay? The child never did it, or the child rarely did it, or the child sometimes did it, the child often did it, or the child always did it. What do you think? Let me get your opinion. How many columns are you going to have for your rating scale? We know checklist is only 2. What about a rating scale? 3 is minimum, yeah. That's the step. You're gonna have 4, 5. As long as you have the categories. Does it make sense? When I say categories, for example, for checklist, you see there is yes or no. The child can tap on arms, yes or no. Now, when you are on the second part, on the second assignment, if you have another column here and another column here, it's no longer yes and no. Those go out. So maybe never, sometimes, always, or never, rarely, sometimes, often, always, depending on how sophisticated. That's a rating. That is a Likert scale. If you have heard of Likert scale, same thing. Likert rating scale is the same thing. It's Likert. The person who discovered it or started using it. Likert scale is the same. How does that help? Because after you collect the data, you can say the child was always able. For the 10 times I observed, the child was always able to stand up, or to say or to ask something for it. These are quick ways of getting access to it. You're going to develop your own. And this is just an example. You're not going to copy anything from online because that's a zero. You're going to use the resources that I just showed you, and you will develop a checklist, and then a rating scale, and later we'll do a teacher-made test. But that's a step-by-step process that kind of down the line. Right now, I want you to consider a partner that you might work with, because this is a paired assignment for 3 of them, for checklist, for rating scale, and for the teacher-made test. It's a paired assignment. Why? Because the thinking back and forth, exchanging ideas and thinking through is always helpful. Having another brain to work with is always helpful. Even if it doesn't add something onto what you're thinking, it makes you think about what you're doing. It's always helpful to have another brain to work. I don't pair up people, I don't break up people. And if it doesn't work, please don't come to me. You don't get penalized working on your own. You don't get reward for pairing up with someone. But my expectation is you will realize the benefits of working with another brain and take the advantage. So right now, I want you to go to scoring guides on D12. Look at the scoring guide for checklist. And look at the scoring guide for rating scale. Those are the 2 initial ones. If you want to pair up with someone right now, it's up to you. If you want to meet as a larger group and just talk about it, that's fine, and then you can figure out who to work with. But go to the scoring guides on D12. Even if you don't discuss the rest of the assignments, I think you're good to go for module 1. Because what we haven't talked about is the case study, which you will start as soon as possible. Case study. It's on the top. So right now, I want you to be on the right path about these 2 assignments. So maybe have one large group. You can figure out who to work with later. I don't care. But look at the scoring guide so you place it out. Please, let's use this time. Do that. You don't have to decide who you're working with at this point. Nobody can force you to work with them. If you don't want to say no, Right now, one large group talk about the scoring guide. Yeah, 5 and 4. Large group. 5 and 4. Because there's 9. What's the big division? 5 and 5, sorry. 5 and 5. Yes, large group talk about the scoring guide for checklist, scoring guide for reading care. I want to hear questions come to me so that I can clarify that. Mandy, the scoring guide and see what you think about that. Have you put it up yet? Yeah. Okay, so how much time? Start talking and ask me questions. Is there someone who's not here today? No, that's not the power, and it's up to that.
Here, Miss Scott?
He doesn't have.
Oh, she's not here because she went to, graduation for,
Oh, so
it was for like, the military.
Oh,
She'll be.
So, yeah, I'll see how many people there are. If there's need for a group of 3, that's fine, but this is the head. 2 people. 3 will be if necessary. Okay, please talk about the. If you don't ask me questions now, we're not going to get started. Some people submit checklists without a topic, they lose points. Checklists without directions, they lose points. Yes. But
Yeah. Are we doing a rating scale or?
checklist and rating scale due at different times. I'm talking about them both because they're so much similar.
Okay.
Right now, you're only looking at the scoring guides to make sure they make sense to you. The format and scoring guide. And ask me questions so I can clarify. You'll have a lot to do next class when you're not here. You have a lot to do. I want you to be able to do.
Working.
Yes, once you are in a pair, well, it's up to you. If at some point you want to throw away your partner and get another one, that's fine. Divorce exists. I don't think, no. Well, no, I don't encourage you to be by yourself because you miss the discussion part. I encourage you to work with a partner. You get no reward for working by yourself. And you get no penalty. You get no penalty for working. Yeah, okay, all of the part. So. Questions.
Yeah, but she's one domain, so.
You have to have 3 domains, huh? Yeah, you can have more if you want. You can break up. You can break cognitive domain, cognitive and language. Because language is so prominent.
If you want to work with just one domain, subdomains, groups, fine, blah, blah, blah. And then the more.
Right, if you want to go deeper into that, for example, if you're doing. Right, hold on. If you want to work with one domain.
Yeah.
Right, okay, if you are doing physical, okay, I'm going to physical domain only. Okay, fine motor, gross motor, whatever else detail in that domain. Language maybe, what would that be? I don't know, breaking it apart would be, breaking it into smaller pieces could be challenging, but if you want to go that way, that's not bad. 15 is minimum. You can have more. but at least
So like language development is one, and then you have to add like 5.
you could do social, emotional, physical, and love. If you do only social emotional, then you have to see what are the subcategories of social emotional. I don't want to leave. If you do only physical domain, then what are the subcategories of it? That may be more challenging. But if you do physical domain, cognitive domain, and social emotional domain, it's very specified. Like the easiest one. That isn't it? Well, you have that, well, how many examples do you make? Like what?
I'm thinking of it like the one with the yeah, that's what I'm like they have all these questions about that.
Did you see the resources I showed earlier? It's a little now. I showed resources for different days. You have enough resources to do it. Questions from this group? You doing good?
Are we presenting afterwards?
No, you don't present, you submit. We don't, oh, the teacher may test you will present, but that's way in April. Checklist and rating scale, you just. Go back to the resources that I listed and look at those, they give you sample map. I need to spend time there so that you have a good sense of it. This is a very practical example that I have here. I just don't want you to put anything from any existing. You cannot. Yeah. I was doing that. Is someone sign with that thumb? Huh?
No, I don't know. It's just that one.
No questions, really? That is the thumb.
Yeah, but I'm not like your graphic. I want to go different.
Yeah, but I'm gonna copy someone's work and I don't like
I'm not
that.
gonna use your word. It's my word.
No, because
They're government.
you know it comes with the name of the person, right?
Oh,
When you
is
put
it?
the template.
No, I'm not.
Do own creative.
What's time? So, I mean,
You have the time. It's not, when is the checklist due?
no, but you wanted to look, or at least have like the same wall.
Yeah, yeah. That's why you do it. You wanna make it fancy, that's okay, as long as it is your own. I'm really waiting for questions, because then I will know you're ready.
There's specific age group that we're creating this for, or is it?
Of course, it's on the syllabus.
Oh, it's on the.
Infant toddler. The checklist is for infant toddler.
Oh.
The rating scale is for kindergarten. The teacher method test is for primary 1 or 2. You choose.
Yeah, I saw this one's. Oh, yeah. Like everything. Let's
go to the syllabus and read it. That maybe that'll give you some questions to ask you. Claudia, you wanted like examples in addition to what was there. I don't know.
It's fine. We kind of.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Read the description on the syllabus. That makes it a little clearer, I think. I know this is the first class you have not had a chance to read this. Well, you could have, but it's the first class.
Right?
Running out of time. What do you want me to talk about to make your work at home next class more comfortable? I'm at your service. Huh? Yeah, I make your life easy that way.
Yeah, she was the citizens of the world one, right?
Yes. It's the same video analyzed for different purposes. That way. What do you want me to do in the remaining minutes to make your life easy when you're working on your own? You have a lot of resources available in D2L. And as I said, bookmark that link. You want to have it even after this class. What do you want me to clarify on? We can talk about the assignments next time. And checklist and rating scales done. You have questions about the case study? If you want to get started sooner rather than later.
Yeah, gotcha. Yes.
Sorry?
You're excited.
Yes.
There you go. No, I'm like focused on this.
I'm sorry. It's only the first of class. You don't need to overwhelm yourself. Okay, I get it. All right, that's okay. Can someone show me the book that you have? These are an older version, I'm supposed to have a newer one, I think. What book do you have?
That's the one I got.
Which one do you have? Anybody?
Online, it
shows
shows.
Nobody has a real book anymore?
Yeah,
Okay.
6th edition.
Oh,
The one
okay.
that you said.
Yeah, there's no new edition, I thought there was a new one. Okay, now this book, listen to me, this is really important. This book was written by the president of the Child Development Department, Erickson Institute. You know, Erickson Institute is a graduate school for child development. Yeah, really, really. So this was written in 2005. There's not been another edition. He did not update it. I guess he's retired. I was an old man when I did some work there in 2000. So he's probably retired. But it's a really good guide. The good thing is that if you search for it, get it for $1. And they have been writing out. I don't know if I had not buy them and keep them for my students. It is called Developmental Screening in Early Childhood. Developmental Screening in Early Childhood. If you get it, buy it now. Because otherwise it's gonna, the few copies that are circulating, you'll probably get a used copy that's good enough. It's like $2, maybe $4, under $10 definitely. Did anybody find it? How much? You see, buy it. Actually, yeah, buy it. Because he didn't make more copies and it's not online. It's a real book. It's not online. It's a real book. Yeah, I know. Some people put together some junk and call it book and put it online. Oh. Well, some books are good online, but you really have to search them. This is a real one. Developmental Screening in Early Childhood. If you get it, even for $10, buy it. If you go to a library and find it, borrow it. Why laughing? You don't want to borrow books from the library? So return it. Developmental Screening in Early Childhood by Samuel Measles. Really, really good. You'll see. When you get it, you'll see what I mean. Good books are disappearing. Unfortunately. I know. Mine has been 10 years. I've not written a second edition.
Published affairs.
Well, I know that, but well, I'm not in that stage. I won't perish.
Yeah.
Right. If you don't have any questions for me, I want to know. Office hours are starting next week, so I don't think anybody will want office hours with me today after this class. But starting next week, I'm going to have the link available. It's always on Zoom, unless you are here on Monday and Wednesday, you catch me in the office all the time.
Right. Like, the case matches the picture.
So, between now and the next 2 weeks, listen to me. Between now and the next 2 weeks, please do what you're supposed to do for next class. Think about getting started with your case study. So that when you come to class, we can answer a lot of the questions that the more you do at home, the easier you come because you will have questions asked. All right, ladies, thank you for a successful first of class. This was quite nice, right?
It's really good. So, then,
Email me so many questions. You Vanessa, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, there was a lot of traffic. I drove like 40 minutes. No, I'm just earlier from work. I'm trying to like
Okay,
realize.
I'm glad to hear that. You don't want to be late because 5 minutes late is a
I
lot.
know, and then today it wasn't 5 minutes, it was 15. Like, you're trying
But you cut out.
Yeah, I'll make sure it's not too late.
Okay. Good. Denise, write me. How was class today?
Really good.
Was it really fast?
Yeah, it bounced at the. It did. No, like, I don't even, you're right, yeah.
Was that fast?
No. Towards the end, you want to ask.
Oh, was that fast? That's what